Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vino Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guruvarg ki jai, Patit Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachilandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Sudevi?
Yes?
Did you want to say something?
What?
Dandavat Pranam all Vaishnavas?
Dandavat Pranam. Is that what you meant? Sorry.
We will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha, Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Padakamalam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamshta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagano Raghunatham Vikantam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshta Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audaya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varambarenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvang Shirshan Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Pada Vrindaika Vringe Chaitanya Leela Sarasam Narayanam Tvang Satatam Prapadye Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtadya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyano Keshavo Yuti Namine Atimartya Charitraya Swashritanam Chapaline Jivadute Sadarkai Shri Nama Prema Daine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayikaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vidyan Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktidam Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये निधकारिणे रूपानुगम्यरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदं जायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्यराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो भङ्गो मम मन्दं पते गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोज राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्मद श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीरघुविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठानि सेव्यमानुस्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भि मम शिव तत्ततस्थितः हर्षन्नेनुस्वरैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रियस्तु नः वृन्दारणे तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चैत्रोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यामभूजीवनम् आनन्दं मुनिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मा सपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरो नास्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
I don't need that.
Tampura?
Oh.
I think I'm gonna switch it. Excuse me. Because I don't recognize this one. I have to practice with it.
By the way, I just want to apologize for those of you that were here at the end of class. I accidentally, when I picked up the phone and to unplug it to give darshan of Thakurji, I turned it off. And so I'm really sorry. Sometimes these things happen, but...
And I apologize for that really horrible phone ring that happened yesterday.
We have everything controlled tonight, hopefully.
No.
Well, that is.
No.
You turned it off.
I just don't want to ever think that I have anything in control.
You can turn off a phone.
Yes, we did turn that off.
Thank you.
Okay.
Leave it.
I'm turning off the volume here. There we go. Page 360.
Gurudev kripa karke
मुझको अपना लेना.
Also, by the way, I just wanted to say that Yashomati Nandan Prabhu's family wrote us this morning and they were very touched that all of us joined in Kirtan and were praying for their father when he was passing from this world. So I just wanted to relay that to all of you who were joining with us, that it meant the world to them that we were able to do that. So.
गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Kori Vena Doya. $75. Kabe Shri Chaitanya More Vena Doya Doya Pani Doy Nogopado Chaya Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Se Mor Sampada Se Mor Bhajan Pujam.
Page 50.
50. If you don't have a songbook, then you have Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Jiva Pavana Prabhu very kindly and mercifully posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread, along with their translations, and frequently followed by beautiful commentaries from our acharyas. So, even if you do have a songbook, you should check out what he posts, because it's usually quite amazing. So, if you scroll to his most recent post, then you will find the bhajan there, and you can follow along.
Also, Labangalata Didi always posts the page just in case you miss it when we call out. So thank you, Labangalata Didi.
And you are right, Lilavati, it is a Sunday feast. I looked down and I saw that and it made me smile. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Se Moro Sampada
Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Se Moro Sampada
Se
Nitai Gunamani, page 61.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nityananda Prabhu ki
Jai.
So we have a request from Devaki if we could sing Soy Deva Srinalo Shyamanam today, please.
So after the Mahaprabhu bhajan,
We will try our best.
Koratahum? No, not that one.
Gaurangera Dutipada Jara Dhana Sampara. Page 74. Gaurangero Dutipada Jardhano Sampada Devashunayalo Shyamanam. That one is very extreme. It goes from one extreme to the next in terms of its pitch and in terms of its mood. It's just extreme. So we require help. Devashunayalo Shyamanam, page 183. So Keva Shunailo Shyamona
mark it that should be much lower?
No, it's as low as I can go and as high as I can go. It's just too extreme.
No, I can sing it on other times.
If I'm playing harmonium, I have more.
It seemed higher for you.
It was higher for me and low. It's difficult to sing. That's why I was asking everyone to help. When I sing with a harmonium, I can go a little bit lower with the note helping me go lower, but otherwise it's very difficult for me to sing any lower than that or any higher than that. Let's see, Hare Krishna. राधा भजने जदि मति नाही भेला कृष्ण भजन तव अकारण गेला page 110. राधा भजने जदि मति नाही भेला कृष्ण भजन तव अकारण गेला Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Gaur Bhakti Vrind ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari. You don't realize how loud that tampura is until afterward. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayanitti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminitti Namine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times at the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Prabhupada Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Prabhupada Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga and Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So, tomorrow is a holy day. Many of you are observing some holy day today. I think today is the anniversary of the disappearance of Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, disciple of our Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who was mainly based in Manipur, but from there preaching around the world. And he was very affectionate and respectful and giving honor to all Vaishnavas. I remember when he came to see Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj in Govardhan. I don't know what year it was, probably in 2005 or 2007, maybe later. And Gurudev gave him a seat next to him, a seat of honor, gave him equal respect and so much affection. And he told all of us what a nice Vaishnava this is, who is giving honor and respect to all Vaishnavas, not discriminating according to my group or your group, but understanding the character of the devotion inside the devotee. And he also inspired us to give respect and honor in that way, beside the fact that both Sudevi and I were very touched by him as we were growing up in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He was very inspirational for us because we had seen so many difficulties and so many deviations, as what happens when any society is springing up. So many difficulties come, so it became quite difficult for us to trust, and we were really searching for integrity. we were seeing where we could put our faith, where was, someone who basically we were just afraid if anyone might fall down. This is how we were growing up. And we were even losing our faith in the idea of Guru because we grew up with Srila Prabhupada. We saw him many times. We received prasad from him. Our parents would wake us up with Jai Srila Prabhupada and put us to sleep with Jai Srila Prabhupada. And so he was our everything and our ideal of what Guru is. And so it became quite a stark contrast to witness so many difficulties in the name of Guru. But when we met Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, he was very kind, very sweet, at the same time uncompromising, very affectionate, very respectful, and he pulled naturally from our hearts a mood of honor and respect, and maybe even a potential of accepting guidance from him. Anyhow, today is the anniversary of his disappearance from this world, and so we are offering our pranam at his lotus feet. Speaking about integrity. It's interesting for me, this word. It came up quite a lot in the last few days. I was even doing research in the dictionary on this word. What is the meaning of this word? And I realized that in terms of the association that I'm longing to attain, I'm actually striving for association of those devotees who manifest the most integrity. And what is that, really? Well, integrity is basically all of the qualities of a person in the mode of goodness that Krishna mentions. Integrity is the 26 qualities of a devotee mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, starting with Kripalu, Akrita Droha, Satya, Sarasama. So many qualities of a devotee. Integrity is those who endeavor to follow the instructions of Sri Guru as it is, without deviation. Integrity is those who do not manifest so grossly the 4 defects of making mistakes, and I'm saying so grossly because the conditioned soul may have these problems, but the gross manifestation of them as it manifests in this world on a gross level, right? Desire and thought may come into one's mind, but who can control that urge which comes in, right? There's a thought that comes, but you don't have to act on the thought, so you can control the urge. One who doesn't make any endeavor to control the urge has no spiritual integrity, just running after their senses. There's no integrity there. Someone who goes back on their words, someone who lies, cheats, twists, manipulates, or does anything only for themselves, but not actually for the benefit of others, and who does not have simple, basic human decency. If you look at the character of all of our Guru Varga, their conviction in their Gurudev and their Guru Varga, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in Krishna, and the process of bhakti is so strong, is so grounded, is so full and complete that they would never, and they do not want to bring any bit of criticism toward their Gurudev or Guru Varga or the path of bhakti. So their behavior is such that there should be no fault in their character. People may try to find fault, but if you dig deep, you won't find it. Not in them. In other persons of this world, in me or so many others, this might be very easy. Oh yes, oh, wow, look at all of that. But in the character of those persons who it is recommended in Scripture that we should follow and surrender our life and soul to, they have integrity. They are honest. They only speak the truth, and that truth is Krishna Bhakti. They do not behave in any activities which are opposed to or unfavorable to the truth. They are merciful to the jivas. They don't hurt the spiritual faith of the jivas. They're always encouraging the jivas toward Krishna and Krishna bhakti. So honesty, this is a quality that you can say might be a material quality. Loyalty is the requirement. This is part of integrity. Loyalty is the main thing that Guru is requesting from us. Maybe we have some difficulties, but loyalty should be there. But part of loyalty is to always try to be a better, a more sincere, a more surrendered servant, a more surrendered disciple. And the disciple will behave or act in such a way that no negativity will be cast on their Gurudev or Guru Varga. And so this brings about a natural mood of integrity. How will I behave in this world? How will I interact with others? What is my internal intention? If somebody calls me out for something, will I create a false thing and call them out on that and try to fight it back? Or if it's real, will I accept it with humility? Srila Gurudev said the hardest thing, the most difficult thing to accept is false accusation. And many of us have probably experienced that, being falsely accused of something. Real accusation for real purposes, definitely we can understand, okay, yeah, I probably deserve that, although we still become angry because our ego is being called out and checked. But false accusation, why is that coming to me? So for a devotee, we may look at it and think, oh, this is my karma. I must have done something like this in a previous lifetime. This is Krishna giving me his mercy. But for other devotees, if they see that anyone is casting false accusations toward another devotee, false, then they can become very strong and defend, because that is Vaisnava aparad. I asked Srila Gurudev once, and I've told this a long time ago, probably about 4.5 months ago, in these classes, what should one do if one is making false accusations toward their Gurudev, telling false rumors? He said immediately you should cut their tongue with shastric argument. Means you should be very qualified with scripture to be able to defend the integrity of your Gurudev and his teachings and his mission. He said, and if you do not have the qualification to do such a thing, then you should cover your ears and leave that place immediately. Go and jump in any body of water, the ocean, a river, or anything, a lake, with all of your clothes on. And he said, pray to Krishna for forgiveness from hearing that aparad. Aparad means against affection. What is untrue, what is unreal, and what is against bhakti. Apa, radha. Radha means love and affection, and apa means against. So he said, pray like this. With all of your clothes on, pray to the Lord for forgiveness from that offense. And Sudevi told me to ask part 2 of the question. What would you do if someone was spreading false allegations and false rumors about your Gurudev? He said, my Gurudev? I said, yes, Param Gurudev Bhakti Pragya and Kishori Goswami Maharaja. He said, my Gurudev? And I said, yes. He said, oh, I would beat them. And I was like, ooh, okay. So for himself, he was thinking, okay, if you hear something, try to address it with Shastra. If you cannot deal with that, then go and bathe with all of your clothes on and pray for forgiveness, that this being in that vicinity can be washed off of you. But if someone is going against your transcendental Gurudev and Guru Varga, and they are spotless, if they are spotless, and they should be, then one can be very strong to defend them and their integrity. This is not wrong. This is the proper use of anger. Vacho vegam, manasa vegam, krodha vegam. The anger urge can be used in defending the pure devotees, the Vaishnavas, and the path of bhakti from those who would try to stop it. So this can be utilized like this. We have to be careful in this age to not get ourselves put into a very, very difficult situation, but that anger can be channeled. And how can it be channeled? Srila Gurudev, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj has told that He wants all of his children. That means all who are growing up on the path of bhakti to become qualified, to become like lions. And when anyone or anything goes against the teachings of pure bhakti, against the bhakti siddhanta, against our Gurudev, against our Guru Varga, all of the antagonistic moods, the atheistic moods, the sahajya moods, the mayavad moods, and all of these things which are antagonistic toward bhakti, the bhakta and Bhagavan, then we should very boldly, he said, jump like lions onto the heads of the elephants of this aparad. This aparad is compared to a massive elephant. Jump like lions onto their heads and roar very, very loudly. He wanted all of his children to become like this, very bold and very strong and very qualified. Very qualified. What is qualified? Qualified means integrity, honesty, conviction, nishtha, very firm conviction in the words, the conceptions, the moods, and the teachings of my Gurudev. There's a saying, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And we see that those persons who do not have a strong, I don't want to use the word a strong foundation in Shastra. It's not the right terminology. Who don't have a strong hold on the lotus feet of their Gurudev. Even if they know a lot of Shastra, because of the ego and the pride of, I know so much, I know Sanskrit, I know this, I know that, very easily, they can be pulled away from the lotus feet of their Gurudev. And we've seen this time and time again. Those who are too smart for their own britches, they have too much knowledge, they think I know more than my Gurudev, then they begin disrespecting their Gurudev and naturally leave the path of their Guru's teachings, their Guru's instructions, and then start embracing the instructions even that might be opposed to the teachings, the instructions of Gurudev, and then representing that as truth instead. So there's no integrity in that. There's no solidity. It's just being tossed by the waves of sentiment. And because of having no Guru Nishtha, bhakti cannot manifest. How can I dare to say such a thing? Srila Gurudev said, even if any other Mahabhagavat says something slightly different than your Guru, and you do not reconcile it immediately, that will go in like a seed of doubt. And if you don't reconcile it very quickly, it will become like a large tree, and then everything will be destroyed. Right? You can have a beautiful, powerful, strong castle and put one seed in the wall, in the crack. And if that seed starts to grow and you don't do anything to remove that weed, then that small seed, whatever small microscopic seed is, can grow into a very massive tree and destroy that building, that structure. And we've seen it throughout history. Over time, it can destroy everything. So Guru Nishtha, or the strength of holding on to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, this loyalty is the best kind of integrity. And you will only see that in those persons who do not shift, adjust, change, manipulate, twist whimsically the teachings of their Gurudev and their Guru Varga. Holding on tightly to those conceptions is imperative if we want to develop Guru Nishtha and if we want to receive the mercy and blessings of Gurudev, which is the result of Guru Nishtha. Only by receiving the blessings and the mercy of Sri Guru, I'm trying to, Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. My only hope is to attain the mercy of Gurudev. Or Tomara Kuruna Asar. Gurudev, your mercy is everything. So from this perspective, then the question for us, if greed is our root qualification, which we've been discussing here, the intense necessity of our soul to love and serve Krishna, that hankering, that greed, that intense desire, is the root requirement. And that only manifests in the association of Vaishnavas, and especially under the guidance of Sri Guru, then to hold on tightly to the lotus feet of Sri Guru is our essential need. And that doesn't mean physically holding on. That means what he has given us, his instructions, his teachings, his moods, his bhavs, to hold on to them, to keep them close in our heart, and to represent them as it is. This is the requirement. Really, it's representing in the way that he wanted us to represent. That he wanted us to represent. So when he tells us something, and he says, I want that you share it like this, share it like that, then if we take it and don't share it like that, twist it and share it in a different way, then how can we expect him to glance at us with his beautiful, merciful, sidelong glance and say, yes, I'm very pleased with you. We have just done something which would be opposed to Gurudev. Why would he want to say, oh, it's okay, it's good? No. We should do those things with integrity that we know our Gurudev would be pleased with, that he would be benefited by, that he would be happy with. And then that would be the root of our growth in bhakti. Srila Gurudev explained that we should first and foremost apply this verse, the defining verse of bhakti, the best defining verse of bhakti, anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. First and foremost at the lotus feet of bhakti, of Gurudev. Why? Anukulyena krishna anushilanam. He explained that the first form of Krishna in our life is Guru Krishna. It is the form of Krishna. It is Krishna's mercy taking form as Sri Guru. So applying these moods first and foremost at the lotus feet of Gurudev, anukulyena, what is favorable to Gurudev, Guru Krishna Anushilanam, exclusively for his benefit, for his happiness, for his pleasure. What does he need for his own enjoyment? What is pleasing to Gurudev? If we follow the instructions that he gives. As Gurudev said, please be merciful to me and become happy. Chant your Harinam. That's what he wants from us. Because their hearts are bleeding upon seeing our suffering condition, they're begging for us to do what we can to stop suffering. We keep sticking our finger in that socket that we should not do, and that thing keeps shocking us again and again and again, and it keeps creating so much difficulty in our life. So they're begging us, running after us, praying, like Nityananda Prabhu. What is it? Dware, dware, giya. Taking a straw in his teeth. In a very humble way, going from person to person, home to home, door to door, begging everyone, you can purchase me, I will be yours. Just once call out the name of my Gauranga. Bolo, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari Bol. Just call out the name of Sachinandan Gaura Hari. And what is Sachinandan Gaura Hari saying? Just call out the names of Krishna. What is our Guru Varga saying? Call out the names of Gaur, Radha, Krishna. Call out their names. They're begging us to do that thing which will benefit ourselves. They don't need us for themselves, but they cannot help themselves but to beg us to take what they are giving. So just to take it is one thing, but then to take it in such a way that we can represent and reflect nicely upon them, then it will become seva. Not just doing it for us, but doing it to please Gurudev, to serve Gurudev. Oh, will this be beneficial? Will this be pleasing? Will this be service? Will he accept it? That is the question. This question should always be in the back of our minds, in our heart. Will my Gurudev accept this? This intention, is it good? Am I being duplicitous? Am I being a hypocrite? Am I pretending? Am I cheating others? Am I lying? Am I mixing things? Am I twisting things? Am I presenting things which are directly contradictory toward what Gurudev and his Gurudev and Guru Varga are representing. So I was meditating on this word integrity, and from that word so many other words started manifesting. There was honesty and loyalty and truthfulness and all of these qualities which are becoming more and more rare to find in the world today. In Kali Yuga, it's difficult to find those who might just be simply honest. We cannot be honest about material things, maybe, because who knows what's right and what's wrong in the material world. It's all kind of wrong. Srila Gurudev said it, none of it's really true, because it's all Maya, that which is not. So whether you are voting for this guy or this guy, it's still all bound in the material energy. So the truth, what is the truth? Satyam param dhimahi, the absolute truth. Mahaprabhu tells Sanatan Goswami, Krishner Swarup Vichar Shuno Sanatan Advait Gyan Tattva Braje Brajendra Nandan. O Sanatan, listen to me. The truth, Krishner Swarup Vichar, the consideration of Krishna or Bhagavan is Swarup. What is it? Advait Gyan Tattva, the supreme, non-dual, absolute truth. The ultimate conception of the absolute truth is none other than Braje Brajendra Nandan, means Vrindavan's Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. That is the absolute truth. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, he explains in his commentary to Tad Vidhi Pranipatena, one of his commentaries, when it says Tattvadarshi, he says, what is the meaning of Tattvadarshi? Darshi means to see, and Tattva means the truth. He said, what is Tattva? The truth. The truth is Brajendranandan Shyamasundar, Krishna in Vrindavan. That is the truth. And who is a Darshi? That person who is seeing, not just seeing. Our Srila Prabhupada said, practically experiencing, and Srila Govinda Maharaj added this, the depth of practically experiencing one's relationship with Krishna in Vrindavan. They are Tattva Darshi. And because they know Krishna, they are seeing Krishna always. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Sanktak Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yang Shyama Sundarma Chintaguna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. With the eyes tinged with the salve of love, they are always seeing this Shyama Sundar Krishna, present everywhere. The pure devotee does not exactly see the material world and the workings of this material world. Rather, they see their Ishtadev, their worshipful Lord, present everywhere. Now, when Hiranyakashipu was asking Prahlad, where's your God? Prahlad, is he here? Is he in this pillar? Prahlad said, yes. He was saying, where is he? Is he here? And Prahlad saw him everywhere, in everything. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to find out, where is he? If you can show him to me, I want to try to kill him. And Prahlad said, he's everywhere. And he asked, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad said, yes. So Hiranyakashipu that pillar with the back end of his sword, and from that pillar manifested the most beautiful, amazing form. Shri Narasimhadev Bhagavan. Shri Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. So the pure devotee sees their Ishtadev everywhere. They are engaged in that relationship with their Ishtadev, Brajendranandan Shyamasundar Krishna of Vrindavan. And because they know Krishna, they have Krishna. They can also give Krishna. So in that bhajan, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro tomara shakti aache. Krishna is yours. You can give Krishna. That's within your power. I am just a beggar. Krishna, Krishna, saying, Krishna, Krishna, please give me what is in your heart. If we please Sri Guru and we develop a bond of love and affection through our service, and they see that we are truly sincere, then what is in their heart will naturally come out. They will want to share what's in their heart because this is the nature of the depth of relationship. If you become really close to anyone, they want to share what's on their mind, to give gifts and receive Also, exchange of gifts, sharing one's mind and confidence, taking prasadam together. This is natural and this builds love and affection. This is the 4th verse of Sri Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami. Dadati pratigrinnati guhyamakyati prichati bhunkte bhojayate chaiva, means and so forth. So it's just giving these 6 symptoms, cha eva, and so forth, etc. Shadvidham priti lakshanam. These 6 and so forth are the symptoms of loving affection. Priti lakshanam. Lakshana means intrinsic symptoms and priti means love or affection. So dadati pratigrinnati means giving and receiving. We exercise these with the pure devotee. What am I giving? I'm giving up my anarthas. And they're giving me Krishna in return. Guhyamakyati prichiti. What am I giving? I'm giving relevant inquiry. Pariprashna. And those relevant inquiries, those questions, inspire their heart. But what is in their heart? They have nothing in there but Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. So that's what comes out. Guhyamakyati prichiti. I'm revealing, look at what's going on here. Please help me. And bhunkte bhojayate chaiva. I'm offering prasad to them, and then I'm receiving their mahaprasad remnants. By this, a bond of affection can grow, and by that, mamata, possessive mood, manifests in the heart that I am yours and you are mine. And from that depth of relationship, Vishrambena Gurur Seva manifests. Very intimate service to Gurudev. Intimate means, Gurudev explained, like a worldly friend. He would always say worldly bandhu. Loka bandhu, worldly friend. As we have affection for our friends in this world, we will have that kind of feeling. Of course, there will always be respect. Always, it should be there. But still, that feeling of affection, that we would do anything for them. We would give our own life for them, our own head if necessary. Because of that affection. And through that sambandha, that relationship, what will transfer from them to us? What is in their heart? Krishna, 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 Krishna. That's what will manifest. Krishna will awaken in our heart. So, Srila Govinda Maharaj, based on this one line, Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoite. Guru will make Krishna appear in your heart, he said. Guru makes Krishna appear in your heart. Why? Maybe my heart is a barren wasteland. Maybe it's just completely scorched. I've stripped mined my heart since time without beginning, trying to extract enjoyment from this material world. Strip mine, you know what a strip mine is? When they just destroy all of the land and earth and nothing grows there. But Guru will come and make that a beautiful garden. He will bring in new topsoil, make it beautiful, plant so many flowers and fruit trees and put in beautiful lakes and make it a gorgeous place. And then he will invite Radha and Krishna that you should come and play there. And Guru will also come and be there in our heart. This is our hope, this is our aspiration, that Guru petitions Krishna, the Vaishnavas petition Krishna profusely on our behalf. How do we attract that? By our sincerity. And how is our sincerity noticed? Right? We can say, I am your most sincere and serious servant, but it needs to be shown, not just told. Right? Mostly wives know this. If a husband just says to his wife all the time, I love you, but he doesn't ever do anything for her, she's like, oh, come on. You got to show me, prove it. Show me some, do something nice for me. I'm cooking for you, I'm cleaning, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What are you doing? Sitting on your computer? Saying, I love you. So something needs to be shown. So I'm sincere, I'm your most, with so much das, anudas. Okay, so what is your sincerity? And we should look deep inside. That sincerity will be manifested in the forms of our loyalty, our integrity, our simple heartedness, Vaishnavata e saralata, saralata e Vaishnavata. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. Simple. Means we should try to be the same, especially in front of Gurudev. This is what I am. Gurudev already knows what's in our heart, but he requires that we're also honest. I have this difficulty. Please help me out. If we're pretending to be all spiritual and transcendental but complete nonsense, then what can he do? We won't be willing to accept what he's giving. But if we're simple and honest, this is my condition, I require help. I don't even want to help myself. I'm so bound in the modes of material nature, so addicted to all kinds of worldly sense enjoyments, and I don't even want to stop. This is a problem. I need help, and I need that help which is from beyond myself, because I don't want to stop. Oh, Gurudev, this is my situation. Please help me. So simplicity, honesty, integrity, holding on, and making the endeavor to serve according to what will be pleasing to, beneficial for, and according to the desire of Gurudev. Not my own desire, but the desire of Gurudev. Gurudev would explain that there are different kinds of disciples. I wish I could remember all of it right now. It's quite funny when he would tell it. He said there's the astrologer disciple. You know the astrologer disciple? Gurudev tells something and the disciple is thinking, yes, but maybe if according to this and that, it's not exactly the right time. Maybe we should. Gurudev said, I want a glass of water. And then he starts doing the astrological calculations about when the right time. Oh, today's Chaturdashi. We can't give him water today because if we travel outside, we might get in an accident. And then, you know what I mean. All of this kind of stuff. So there's different kinds. And Gurudev would say, Gurudev would ask the disciple, please bring me a glass of water. And the disciple would think, mango lassi is much better. So instead of bringing a glass of water, he brings mango lassi. Except it's the winter time and Gurudev already has a cold. And he gives him a mango lassi, which only exacerbates the situation. So this is not following what is beneficial, favorable, or according to the desire or need of Gurudev. We're second guessing. I told before in 2008, first Gurudev wanted us to go to Los Angeles and manage the center there. And he told us, you should stop your traveling in the world and go to Los Angeles. Everything you've been doing in the world, whatever you've been doing that's making it, acceptable to the devotees, I want you to take it to Los Angeles and do it there. So we started preparing to do that. And, we were praying and preparing our hearts and our minds how to do it. And we heard, after 2 months, then you need to start coming up with the money, $10,000 a month to pay for the place and this and that. And we were like, whoa, we don't do that. We don't travel to collect. We just travel to follow the order of Gurudev and share what he's shared with us. So we expressed some of our apprehensions to our Gurudev. And he said, just wait. And then until Navadvip, we waited. And then at Navadvip, he expressed to the devotees who had requested us to come, who actually requested for us to come, he expressed to them that I'm anxious for Los Angeles. So you asked for them, so you should bring them. And he said, everything will work out. And they said, Gurudev, we're not convinced. He said, just do it. It'll work out. Trust me. They said, Gurudev, we're not convinced. He said, okay, then what can be done? He said, anyhow, the devotees are asking for you, so you should continue traveling the world more and more. And we were sitting there willing and ready to be handed out however Gurudev wanted to hand us out. But then he started saying, you should travel and preach the world more and more. And then in the next 2 days, so that day and the next 2 days, I think it was 11 times, we counted it, in a row practically. Every time he would see us travel the world and preach more and more, he was just doing that. And then one devotee pulled me to the side and said, you know what Gurudev really wants. And I said, yeah, he just ordered us to travel the world and preach more and more. He said, it's just because you're not ready to surrender. And this devotee said to me, you're not ready to surrender, so, but you know what he really wants. And I said, I was willing and ready to do what he wanted me to do, and he told me not to go and to travel the world more and more. So at that point, I just told this devotee, I said, you know, he told me 11 times I was willing to do, but I'm not at that level yet, your level, I told him, that I can second guess the instruction and the order of my Gurudev. What he's told me to do, I should try to do to the best of my ability. I was willing to do that, and now he told me not to do that and told me to do this, so now I should follow that. It was interesting because when he ordered it, you should go to Los Angeles, suddenly my attachment to my seva of world preaching, which he had ordered us to do, began to dwindle, and my attachment became toward that seva which he ordered. And then he had us waiting for some months, and then he said, no, now don't do that, do this again. And so my attachment started going there, and then my attachment was cut, and then attachment bound there again. So really, the order of Guru is the life and soul of the disciple. And I pray that one day I can truly realize that. So now, we have a little bit of time. Tomorrow's, for us, a holy day. We will be observing the appearance day, I believe, of Sri Madhvacharya and also Sri Ram Vijayotsav. So Madhvacharya is a very prominent transcendental personality in our line. Sorry, we are in his line. Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Saraswat, Sampradaya. So we're in the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. I said Saraswat because that's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So Madhvacharya is very prominently figured in our parampara. So it is imperative that we honor, respect, and hear about him and his glories tomorrow. And also Ram Vijayotsav, which is the, we'll talk about that tomorrow, but the festival of his victory, Vijay Utsav. So the festival of Ram's victory over Ravan. So we will do that tomorrow, and also probably a little bit more of going beyond Vaikuntha. So before entering into this beautiful transcendental treasure, which is one of the commentaries of our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj on the beautiful manifestation of the heart of Sri Sanatan Goswami, known as Brihad Bhagavatamrita. One section is the journey of Gopkumar from here to perfection. So our Gurudev is commenting on that, and Narad Muni has just instructed Gopkumar that you will not be satisfied in Vaikuntha. What you are searching for, you will never find here in the association of Srimad Narayan. You must go beyond Vaikuntha. You will not find your perfection or your satisfaction unless you go all the way to Vrindavan, and there you will find the perfection of your soul's nature, which is as a cowherd boyfriend of Krishna in Vrindavan. So Narad Muni was inspiring greed, transcendental lobha, that thing which is required, the intense necessity of the soul to serve Krishna according to one's own internal inclination, what is already internally manifest and present within the soul. So before entering into this transcendental treasure, I'm praying to Srila Gurudev and Srila Sanatan Goswamipada in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Payanan Mam Nubhipshamandam Kripam Vidirya Paraduk Duki Sanatana Svam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest itself within our hearts. So Narada Muni was speaking to Gopkumar about the nature of prem. Prem is, what's the title here again? Ultimately, prema cannot be described. It's only something that one can partially understand through experience. Even Srimati Radhika, we talked about yesterday. If anyone could describe prem, it is that personality, the embodiment of the highest transcendental love and affection for Krishna. Srimati Radhika. Even she feels that she cannot describe it. And she has told that only one who experiences it can have some understanding of it. Now, Srila Gurudev spoke yesterday about those who are taking the role of being a little bit, some kind of partial neutrality. Then they can see things from an external perspective, kind of like a holistic perspective. You back out of it and from that perspective, right? If you're watching a drama and your heart is invested in it, or a film, and somebody loses their dearest beloved and their heart is broken and they're weeping and crying, and you're watching, you're also weeping and crying and you're in it. But if you pull yourself back and think, wait a second, this is just a film, and right, they've got the lighting coming from this angle and that angle. Oh, they probably snapped one of those things to make the tears come, and they're just actors anyway, right? They're also in different films, and you know, this is just a script that they're following, so you can back out and you can see it from that perspective as well. You can be in it and feeling it, but if you decide you don't want to feel that much, you can back out and watch it from a different perspective. So there's the tattva perspective. Tattva means the background, the foundation of how everything is going on. And then there's the rasa itself. The rasa itself is the mood, the relationship, the sweetness, the absorption that is going on the platform of tattva. You build a big building, people come and live in the building, and their relationships are manifesting within that, but it still has its foundation. So Srila Gurudev is explaining that Mahaprabhu is completely absorbed in his separation bhav, the mood of Vipralamba, in the Gambhira. Completely absorbed. He cannot explain what he is experiencing. But to some degree, because they've taken a little bit of a step back and are acting in the role of teacher from this aloof perspective, slightly aloof, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raya Ramananda, Rupa Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, they're able to describe what's going on from that perspective. So yesterday we were discussing that these personalities all have their intrinsic eternal forms in Krishna Lila, and there they're completely absorbed in the Lila. But in these forms, they're able to act in the role of Guru and explain all of these things for our benefit, so that we can have some understanding, some discrimination, and then be able to move along the path of bhakti with a system of checks and balances in place. Raganuga bhakti is not just free-flowing. It doesn't just go random. It is bordered on either side by the Grand Canyon walls. And those Grand Canyon walls are the activities, or you can say the Vaidhi Bhakti. It kind of gives a pathway by which that rag can flow freely. Sometimes it's said like stones or bushes along the path, but really it's very strong, and that allows that river to flow freely, but in good guidance. So you see the behavior of Raghunath Das Goswami, how strongly and strictly he followed. From the external, it might look like he's following Vaidhi Bhakti, means just according to the rules and regulations of scripture. But the internal emotion is spontaneous, natural, flowing love and devotion. This is Raganuga, in the wake of the moods of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavan. Rag Anuga. This kind of bhakti is flowing, but it is bordered by something which allows it to flow nicely. If you don't have those borders, then what happens? It floods outward, and it can even become practically nothing. But if you make a nice, clear, deep channel, then very easily it can flow toward the ocean of Krishna Bhakti Ras. So Srila Gurudev was explaining that these personalities, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rup Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, they're able to explain something of it, but not completely. Not completely. It can give some kind of indication and say, it's like this, it's like that. But ultimately, it will have to be experienced. Just like Jiva Tattva. Our Gurudev said, everything we're telling you about Jiva Tattva, that means Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, it's to give you some idea. But he said in reality, it is much more amazing than you can ever comprehend with your material mind and intelligence or senses. It's much more amazing because it is transcendental. It is above and beyond the realm of the mind and intelligence and senses. He said, so only through Nam Bhajan, through taking shelter of Sri Hari Nam Prabhu, will you begin or be able to understand and realize some of the amazingness of this Jiva Tattva. What to speak of Jiva Tattva? Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, and Bhakti Tattva, Prem Tattva. How can we understand and realize these things? Through Nam Bhajan, everything will be manifested. Narada is saying, in describing this Prem, what will I say? I am capable of saying something about the symptoms of it, but most people will misunderstand and take another meaning. I may say, oh, Radhika is dying in separation and crying in pain. The poor girl has become senseless. For a long time, Radhika remained senseless. The tears from her eyes made her clothing wet, and she rubbed the dust of Krishna's feet on her shawl and the rest of her clothes. With the tears related to Krishna and the dust related to Krishna combined, Radhika's clothes became unclean, but she refused to change them. She was firmly determined that she would wear no other clothes except those that were saturated with her tears for Krishna and his foot dust. But upon hearing this, most people will say, oh, such suffering. Even we might check ourselves when we hear about the moods of separation that the Brajabasis feel for Krishna, especially when he is left for Mathura. Anyone who may have felt any kind of separation in this material world, someone had a breakup, or their husband or wife left, or their child, or this or that, anything which causes pain in the heart through this separation, then hearing about the transcendental separation of the transcendental personalities for transcendental Krishna might make us superimpose our material experience onto their transcendental experience. And then we would think, doesn't sound like anything that I would want. And I know that some people have even expressed these kinds of things. It doesn't sound very nice, right? So this kind of mood would come. And so Narada is saying that many would just misunderstand it and take another meaning. He said most people would misunderstand it and take another meaning because it seems similar, but it is way beyond. I once heard it said, the transcendental love of Krishna and Srimati Radhika and the gopis is actually pure love, covered in a thin veil that looks like lust. Whereas in this material world, we say, oh, it is pure love, when actually it is only lust, covered in a thin veil that looks like love. When we look at this, it looks like the separation of this material world. Whereas it is actually, according to Guru Sadhu and Shastra, the source of the highest ananda or bliss. It's so difficult to try to calculate that or understand that. What we just heard, how she's weeping and crying and she won't bathe, she won't change her clothes because it has her tears mixed with Krishna's foot dust. She won't change. And this, oh, poor thing, she's suffering so much. So we can look at it from that perspective. if we're not under the guidance of sadhus, tattvadarshis, those who are able to see and understand and know that transcendental subject matter and somehow be able to transmit it to our heart. They can transmit it through words, they can transmit it through their glance, they can transmit it through the saffron particles which are emanating from their forms, they can transmit it through kirtan, so many different ways they can transmit it. But if we're not under their guidance and receiving that transmission, then it's very easy to misunderstand. So we must be under their guidance at every moment. When Uddhava went to Vrindavan to deliver a message from Krishna and first saw the condition of the Brajavasis, he said, I have heard that their love for Krishna is very deep, but for so long they have been in so much agony. Mother Yashoda is dying. But will Radhika, Nanda Baba, or Mother Yashoda ever leave Vrindavan? Will any gopi ever leave? Will even any one of the young servants of the gopis leave? No. They are experiencing a kind of ecstasy that even Uddhava could not understand. Whenever Gurudev would speak about Uddhava, when he came to Vrindavan to be enrolled in the university of the gopis, seeing their love, their praying, and how high their praying, their love for Krishna is, and that even there may be a reason for it to stop, it continues to increase more and more forever. Gurudev would say, Uddhava looked up and up and up to see the top of their mountain of praying, but he had to put his head back so far that his top hat would fall off. Therefore, even the servants who sweep Radhika's home are considered to be on a higher level than Uddhava. Uddhava cannot attain that high kind of sentiment. The gopis are all crying, and their servants are trying to console them, but still, none of them will ever leave there. In the end, Uddhava left Vrindavan, unable to fully comprehend that high sentiment. The symptoms of prem in its mature state are not a thing that can be spoken of. So how can it be written about in the scriptures? And if they were written, then what would be the result? In Srimad Bhagavatam, only a little bit has been described about the meeting of Sri Radha and Krishna. And many people say that there is some detestable, sinful activity described in the Bhagavatam. Many people have said this. Many great philosophers, many pandits, Brahmins, priests, so many, from so many different groups throughout history, when they come to the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, they're like, look at this. And they start to criticize. They wouldn't accept the worship of Radha and Govinda together in Jaipur. They tried to take them apart. They try to separate them because this appears to be immoral and we don't want to promote immorality. So they're looking at the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and calling it immorality, not understanding any tattva or siddhant about who Krishna is, who Radhika is, and what their right is to have that kind of lila. But they will have this kind of sentiment. I was in a mall in California, must have been about 5 years ago. No, maybe a little longer now, 10 years ago. And one man, he said, hey, because I was wearing tilak, he called me to his shop. He was following a different faith that likes to really, really, really go against Hinduism. So he said, you Hindu? And I said, no, I'm a follower of Gaudiya Vaishnava. I believe in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. I believe in Krishna. He said, Krishna, eh? And he said, you know Mahabharata? I said, yeah. He said, that one in Mahabharata, she has 5 husbands. He said, this is against the laws of God. It is immoral. And he tried to preach to me like that. And I was like, okay. And I explained a little bit to him, but I realized he was just faithless and just wanted to criticize. So I said, well, nice knowing you. Nice meeting you. I've got some things to do. I'll see you later. So they look a little bit They don't even bother to understand the details of what's going on. They don't understand that Draupadi, when she was praying for husbands, she told Lord Shiva, I want a husband like this. I want a husband who's handsome. I want one who's heroic. I want one who's very sweet and gentle. I want one who's wealthy. And Lord Shiva was like, okay, 5 husbands it is. And she had to accept the result of the benediction. But they don't take any of that into consideration. They just look at it and go, oh, let's criticize. So the same thing, even so many, you can say those who are following Vedic dharma, because of their idea of what is proper and good and true, Narayan is married to Lakshmi. Lord Shiva is married to Parvati, Uma, right? Each one is married to their consort. Ram is married to Sita. Even Krishna in Dwarka, he has 16,108 wives, but he is married to them. But in Vrindavan, he is not married. What is this? And they start criticizing. So, this is because they have no understanding of Tattva Siddhant, and they're not under the guidance of any Vaishnava who can share that with them. So Gurudev is saying that they will say, oh, there is some detestable, sinful activity described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Many people have said this. How will all of these people understand the Bhagavatam? Only a little has been told, and they say that it is filthy. So if even more of it were described, then what would happen? Yet if Bhagavatam were not there, the devotees would not be able to maintain their lives because the Bhagavatam is most dear to them. Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. It's one of the last verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless or completely pure Purana, Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam, and it is very dear to the Vaishnavas. So Gurudev is saying if it wasn't here, the devotees would not be able to maintain their lives because the Bhagavatam is most dear to them. They understand that it is Krishna himself, Krishna's pastimes. Now Gurudev is saying something very interesting. If you give a piece of ginger to a monkey, what will he do? I've never done that. I might try. He will look at it and then merely discard it. Monkeys do not know that ginger is valuable for digestion and health. So these high sentiments from the Bhagavatam should not be described to ignorant people. They are not spoken even to Rukmini or Satyabhama, so what to speak of others. Srila Gurudev also described that even Mother Yashoda does not know what is going on in the Madhurya Rasa, in the Parakiya Bhav, in the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna and the gopis. She does not know. She was like, what? My boy is just a baby. How can he be doing anything? Sometimes people try to tell her and complain, and she's like, what? Like that. Even she doesn't know. She doesn't understand because she is saturated in Vatsalya prem, parental affection. You know, many parents, they've heard people say stuff about their children. And they'll be like, what? No, my child is good. My child is good. They could never do something like that. And then subsequently, maybe they find out, oh my God, it's true. But Mother Yashoda is so saturated in her Vatsalya prem, she can never see that. She does not know. She doesn't see this form of Krishna. The form of Krishna standing in his threefold bending form as Shyamasundar playing his flute, attracting and calling all the gopis to come to him. She does not see that form. She sees him as Balagopal, very young. Her son, she doesn't see him as Sakshat Manmataha, the supreme personality of, what is it? Kandarpakotikamaniya Vishesha Shobham, that person who is so attractive, so beautiful, that millions of cupids faint just on the thought of him. She sees him his beauty, but from the perspective of Vatsalyata, not from the perspective of Madhuryata. That would be rasa abhas. It would be an incompatible mixture of rasas. So she does not even see that. And what makes Parakiya Bhav so exciting? It's secret. It's the secret love affairs of God. is his most private thing. So Gurudev is saying what is told about it in Bhagavatam is just a little bit. And even then, so many people zone in on that and they criticize it. So only such a little bit can be told, but those who have the eyes to see, who know the truth, who see the truth, and who are within that pastime, they can unlock and open and reveal something of that. But they don't generally do it to ignorant or faithless persons. But Gurudev said these things also must be told to somehow awaken a greed, a lobha, a loyum in our heart to want to serve those transcendental pastimes. They're not even spoken to Rukmini or Satyabhama, so what to speak of others? It's the time. But there is one more point here. Those who are rasik, who are svasambedya dasha, who have experienced prema themselves, they will not describe it, but they will recognize it when they see it. Besides Swarup Damodar, no one else could understand the bhav of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He understood it, but never spoke it. So Swarup Damodar understood it, but never spoke it. There is a verse that Mahaprabhu was calling out with a faltering voice before Jagannath's chariot. Yahako marahara sa eva hi varas ta eva chaitra kshapas te chon milita malati surabhaya prodhakadambanila satchayvasmi tatapi tatra surata vyapara lila vidho reva rodasi vedasi tarutale chetas samutkantate. This is written in Padyavali. Verse 382. Padyavali is a compilation of verses by Rupa Goswami. It means that same lover who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights in the month of Chaitra, and the same breezes from the Kadamba forest are blowing the same fragrance from the Malati flowers. I am also the same lover as before, but my heart is not satisfied here. I desire to return with him to the bank of the river Reva under the Vaitasi tree. So Mahaprabhu is saying this verse in front of Jagannath. No one could understand what it was. It seems like some mundane love poetry. Oh, when we were young, we used to meet on the bank of the Reva river under the Vaitasi tree. Fragrant Malati flowers were there. What a sweet mood. Now I'm meeting you in a different location and I don't like that. I want to bring us back to that situation and re-experience that which was so wonderful and sweet between us. Who's going to understand this? But Swarup Damodar Goswami, he understood it because he's so near and dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he's experiencing the bhavs of Srimati Radharani. And Swarup Damodar Goswami is in Krishna Lila, Lalita Sakhi, who is also helping and coaching how to experience these properly. So Swarup Damodar Goswami understands what the bhavs or the moods of Srimati Radhika. And so he's able to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and understand what he is saying. So when Mahaprabhu spoke that verse, only Swarup Damodar understood. But then it became apparent that someone else understood as well. Rupa Goswami also understood. Perceiving the sentiment within Mahaprabhu's heart, Rupa Goswami composed a parallel verse. So immediately upon seeing what Mahaprabhu is saying and understanding what he's saying, Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radhika, seeing Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. When Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath, he wouldn't see as Jagannath, Lord of Dwaraka. Mahaprabhu was in the bhav of Srimati Radhika, seeing her beloved Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar. This is clearly written in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sakshat Brajendra Nandan. When Mahaprabhu would see Jagannath, he would not see Jagannath, he would see from the bhav of Radhika, her own Prananath, her own beloved Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar Krishna of Vrindavan. Now this is something special that if we have an idea or an understanding of this, it really helps to clarify so many different, you could say, confusions that come on this path. So Rupa Goswami, he has understood what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying. It was like a code. He understood it and he immediately composed a parallel verse. Oh, 7:38. So we're going to leave that as a cliffhanger because, believe it or not, we've got not even a full page left and we still have many days. But Rupa Goswami, he's able to understand the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Who is Rupa Goswami? Who is Rupa Goswami in Krishna Lila?
Rupa Manjari.
Sri Rupa Manjari. Sri Rupa Manjari is a very near, intimate, dear assistant, maidservant of Srimati Radhika, who serves Radha and Krishna in their most intimate pastimes in Vrindavan. And she's able to understand something of the heart of Srimati Radhika. So when Mahaprabhu is expressing these bhavs, Rupa Goswami is able to understand the inner heart's desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's why Rupa Goswami is glorified as that person. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. That person who established the inner heart's desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this world because he understood Mahaprabhu's inner heart's desire. So Sthapitam Yena Bhutale, he established that and he told us what Mahaprabhu has come to give us. Anarpitaccharinchidar Kuranayavatin Nakalo Samarpayitum Unato Jolarasam Svabhakti Shriyam. To awaken the moods of the Brajavasis, but especially, specifically, those moods which will increase our mood of service to Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. This is Svabhakti Shriyam. And if you look up these terms, S-V-A, Bhakti, B-H-A-K-T-I, Shriyam, S-R-I-Y-A-M, within the database or books of our Gurudev, he very clearly elaborates on this point. What is the meaning of that? So we are, Srila Prabhupada says, Rupanugas. Those in this Krishna consciousness movement are followers of Srila Rupa Goswami. Who is Rupa Goswami? What are the moods of Rupa Goswami? How is he serving Mahaprabhu and how is he serving Radha and Krishna? We are aspiring to also serve like him. So we sang that bhajan today, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Same or Sampara. The goal of all of our activities, all of our practices, our vrats, our tapa, everything on the path of this bhakti is to somehow or other receive even a particle of dust from the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami on our heads. Sri Rupa Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Rupananda Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So we may actually finish.
I thought it was going to be the 30-year study.
Maybe in 30 years.
It started before COVID.
Oh yeah, we started this in February, I think. Was it February? No, I finished Bhakti Rasayan from Pujapad Nemi Maharaj. And then we started with this. So I don't know exactly when, but it's been going a long time.
It was downstairs. It was before COVID. BC.
BC.
That's what you say.
Now we're going to have a new calendar, new dates. Before COVID. 1 BC. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Govinda Nam Narayan Govinda Nam So thank you all very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity of remembering and reflecting upon beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga. And also, I would like to express the deepest gratitude to all of you and indebtedness for engaging us daily in our Guru Seva. This is our life and soul, and even though we've been pretty much sequestered, isolated to our room, we feel that somehow or other, by the grace of our Gurudev and Guru Varga, and also by all of your mercy, we're able to continue this service to our Gurudev, which we have no words. So, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radha Vinogi Hari Ju
Ki jai.
Sachinandan Gaur Hari
Ki
Jai.
Just say
Laddu Gopal Ki
jai.